Busy, 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 busy news days. We get cranked up here today. I am in the house with AJ. Sorry I'm dressed so sloppily today, AJ. I've been doing some things, trying to get ready to get in here today, hauling stuff and doing some things. I got a little shout out to do later for some of our listeners that I met today in my comings and my goings. Hope y'all are doing well. We've got a lot of stuff to dip into right off the bat today. A little bit of spot news, maybe developments in the peace talks or settlement talks or surrender talks, whatever you want to call them, with our friends in Iran. All that to get into as well. We've had a White House breach. I thought I saw something about a potential active shooter at a college campus down in Florida. Haven't seen any real confirmation on that, but of course, we'll be on it. That's what we do. We get on these things first thing every single afternoon. EcoView Windows and Doors to get us started, bringing you the show. Becky Jackson and her team. EcoViewWindows.com. This is how you can save. You really can. It may not be exactly 35%, but here's how that works. The average home with single pane windows, even newer homes, are losing 35% of their heating and cooling in the summer and winter through those thin windows. Even if they're not leaky, they're just thin. There's heat transfer that happens because just one single pane's not enough. And so the average is 35%, which means some of you are losing a little less. Some of you are losing more, maybe a lot more. That means half your money that you spend on the electric bill or the gas bill is just wasted. Who wants to waste money nowadays? EcoView Windows is just the best window and door business in town. They'll come out and give you a free estimate. Their products are better. Their installers are better. Their warranties are better, and you'll save the money. And as we all know, we just got done doing our taxes. From time to time, there can be some tax incentives with getting this kind of home improvement made. So y'all reach out to them and see what Becky and her team can do for you. And let me know how you like it because I get a lot of good feedback from them. People call the show randomly, bragging about their new windows on their home, especially as we head into the thick of summer. Hey, Jay, are you too blessed to be depressed?
Man, I'm always too blessed to be depressed,
check
man.
in with you there. Yeah, man, let me see. I'm kind of starting slow today because I got so much, my head's swimming. There's stuff going down. All right, now, the story I saw earlier, I can't get confirmation on it. Let me just whittle through the spot news first. Apparently, there was some heavy law enforcement presence at Florida A&M University in Tallahassee. They had sent out a shelter-in-place order at one point. Sometimes on college campuses, you hear a noise, there's a bang, there's a truck backfire. And, campuses, unlike I guess if you worked in a big workplace with multiple buildings, you'd have lockdown procedures. But campuses are campuses, and they've already got they have drills on how to do this, and they've been the scenes of shooting events in the past, so they're more quick on the trigger, and that's a good thing. They are prepared to run and hide when they need to keep people safe. So if there's anything to that, it may because we haven't seen anything else, it may not be that big a deal. We also had a White House intruder today. I don't know who decided it's a good idea to try to jump the fence at the White House, but as you know, there's construction going on with the new ballroom, and I think some of the normal fencing structure has been augmented. They've got a construction fence as well as the normal perimeter around the White House, and somebody jumped what was described as a construction fence and got into a physical fight with some Secret Service agents. Anybody want to guess how that worked out?
Not
Apparently,
so
he's
well.
he's still alive, but he is in custody. So, man, we got that going down this afternoon as well. Trump made a lot of news just a little while ago. He did an impromptu. I think he's heading out west to do some speeches. He's about to really ramp up the campaign trail, and he dropped these little nuggets, and we don't know how far it's going to go. So we'll pivot to the Middle East situation right now. He said that Iran has agreed to give up the nuclear material. Now, they also agreed they'd get out of the way and open the Strait of Hormuz. So you can't, there's a lot of reasons you can't. It's not that I'm saying you can't trust Trump. Trump's saying what they're telling them. But the faction that we're negotiating with, again, they're fractionalized. We don't know how much authority they really have. And that's because we killed all of them. And so we don't know who's left. And this team of leftovers, we don't know who has true authority to execute anything. But one of the things we've insisted on since the beginning is they're going to give up the nuclear material. It's going to happen. Where are they going to take it, or they're going to give it to us? They have no flexible Well, they have no cards to play. That's kind of a worn out phrase, but they don't. They have no leverage right now. They do not control the Strait of Hormuz anymore. They do not control any way to economically extort the world. At most, they could implement some terror activities. And I heard a statistic today that if we keep up the economic pressure with this blockade, which is a less than lethal but very effective squeeze on this country, that they run out of the ability to pay their IRCG members. These are the thugs that run around oppressing their own people. In fact, they're scheduled to execute four of the protesters, including a woman, today. I think now today being it's getting to be nighttime over there, so I don't know when this is scheduled, but it's about to happen. And so they're still in control on the ground. There have been some assassinations, some drive-by shootings. The people are trying to fight back. That hasn't bubbled over yet. The ceasefire, I thought, was an opportunity for that. But they can't, if they can't pay those guys, I'm telling you, this is their job. If they're not going to get paid, they're going to take off their uniforms, some of them, not all of them, and start siding with the people. That's the beginning of what could be, you just take away the resources, you starve the beast. It's economic warfare. They tried to play that game. That was their card. We went in kinetically, blew all their stuff up, and they said, okay, my friend, I will extort you for money. And Europe are the only people that cowered. And then the next thing you know, we said, no, we'll out-blockade your blockade. Now they can't breathe. They can't import gas. They can't get supplies. It's weird how Iran is and how they're not landlocked. They've got ports, access to the world. But because of what surrounds them, I mean, look around Iran on a map, you'll see Iraq. Saudi Arabia is no friend in this moment. They don't have a way to get anything into the country. They're in the middle of a pile of rocks in a bad part of the world, they were trying to establish a superpower, and that's over. That is completely over. So the only people that are sad about that today are leftists that hate everything that winds up being successful for this country. They're so reflexively against everything Trump does. They've quit pulling for the United States at this point. And then you've got some people that have been whipped into some kind of conservative podcaster zone. I don't understand it. It's mindless, some of the conspiracy theories and nut job stuff that you hear about how this thing was supposed to go. It's been 46 days. Oil price is too high, but it's stable. It's at $92 right now. The markets are up again today. They're crawling back to their all-time highs. And we don't even have the peace deal yet. We haven't completely opened all the activity of the strait. But this thing started working itself out. The Iranians apparently are agreeing to something. And then the other bigger story is Lebanon and Israel sat down and had face-to-face negotiations for the first time. I think it's in 44 years since Reagan was president. That whole thing fell apart, of course, when they were invaded by Hezbollah. And you'll remember the incident where Iran, the beginning of Hezbollah was when Iran funded the terror operation that killed our Marines at the barracks in Lebanon, in Beirut. And many of you have heard the story. I had a good friend that I worked with years ago that was in that building when the bomb went off and pulled his buddies out, dead and alive. Total hero, this guy. Never forget his stories. He didn't talk much, but sometimes we'd get off on the road covering a news story and we'd start talking about it. But those of us from that generation know who the bad guys are. We've known since we were kids. It's not a mystery to us. And then there's this whole generation of kids that weren't taught history in school, don't know. That's why I think people are foolishly falling into the tired and dead and failed ideas of socialism. It seems new to a whole generation of people. They're like, yeah, stick it to the man. And so they elect idiots like this Mandami who's going to run that city in the ground. And they're embracing, Islam's just a religion. All this foolishness. And then, of course, Iran wasn't going to get the bomb. The other fallacies at the beginning of this were, this is another forever war. We're just like Bush. It's been 46 days. I don't like seeing the gas prices high, but that's about the biggest consequence we've had so far. Come on, get real with yourself. Prices may be a little higher for a minute. Gas is coming down, though, have y'all noticed? I noticed for the first time since this started, diesel is dropping about a dime. I watched the diesel price. My buddy that's watching the gas Said it was down another couple of cents at the stores he watches today. That's because the volatility, which is the quick run up and the quick run down, when it does so suddenly because of instability, all that stuff settled. The oil market's actually pricing in the disruption now, and things are slowly getting back to normal. All this is positive stuff today. And I'm here to spread the sunshine. I'm the sunshine man. Y'all bring it, and we'll do your phone calls, headlines. I got plenty of other stuff to get into, too. Just tragic stories everywhere today. Not that I want to spread tragedy. This thing with the lieutenant governor in Virginia is just shocking. I think I'd heard of the guy. I don't keep up with lieutenant governors. A domestic situation nonetheless, but still tragic when somebody's in that high-profile position. And murder, suicides, AJ knows the drill. Years ago, we didn't cover domestic situations. I mean, we just didn't cover it. We didn't cover suicides. It's personal. If there's no threat to the public and, a murder, suicide, domestic, oh, man, it's horrible, but we just didn't give a whole lot of coverage to that because we don't know. It's hard to get to the truth. But when it involves a public figure and these kind of things happen, it gets into the limelight. And so a lot of reaction. Apparently, this lieutenant governor, and I don't even have his name in front of me, but he was the front runner for the Democrat nomination to be governor instead of this troll they've gotten right now. I think he was initially in that race, but he got hit with some sexual assault charges, which may have been what led to his marriage coming apart. And then apparently he and his wife were estranged, but trying to live in the same house, but going through a divorce. Y'all, if you ever get in that situation, just separate. Just separate and put the kids first and calm down. And but people don't do that. They go to war with each other. And then sometimes it ends violently, and it's just a tragedy. But it's in the news today, too, and I don't even know what else to say about it. What else do we have? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's plenty for now. 545-9950 is the phone number. Y'all get in here, and we'll put you on the radio. Headlines when we get them. I got a sense we're going to get more developments on the situation in Iran and this potential. It's, again, back to Lebanon, and I sort of squirreled myself. It's not a peace deal. It's a 10-day ceasefire. But they sat down for the first time in 44 years. And they're working towards something that would include Hezbollah, Iran, the United States, Israel, and all those players of the recent skirmish. And this could be the end of Hezbollah. Remember, Hezbollah is a terror organization that's running the show in Lebanon. It's not the Lebanese government. They've got the Lebanese government outgunned, and they get all their money from Iran. They got all their missiles from Iran. Well, some of them from the United States. Thank you, Barack Obama. Good job, son. He gave them a bunch of money so they could outfit themselves. And here we sit trying to mop all this stuff up from the foolishness of previous presidents. Good stuff. All right, here we go. 545-9950. Lead on live. Back in a minute. All right, 222, lead on live, talk 995, Axiom Tax Resolution Group. Lord, did y'all get through yesterday? Did you file an extension? Did you have the money? There used to be a thing people would try this trick where they'd file because they were being advised, well, the law says you have to file. And they were told you don't necessarily have to pay. So just don't put the check in there and get your filing in. And I guess people still try to attempt to do that. They're going to come after you for the money. They know where you live. They know everything about you. They know how much your employer took out of your checks. They know how much money moved through the system. It's the strangest system, the income tax, the way we do it. The IRS makes you guess how much you owe. They go, guess how much you owe. If you get it wrong, we'll come after you. You're like, how am I supposed to know? They were like, I don't know, guess. So that gets a lot of people sideways. And if you're in that situation where you've got a bill, even from previous years, that's been following you around, and if the IRS hasn't started trying to intimidate you, they will. So reach out to Perry and let him get his team on it. Perry is a straight expert, knows as much or more about this than anybody in the country. We're lucky to have him right here in Birmingham, and he can get you some relief because he knows how the law protects you, which programs are available for you to maybe settle even for less than you owe. Yes, less than you actually owe, not just that they think you owe it and you don't owe it, but actually to get that debt settled down. The Congress set that up. We didn't need debtors' prisons, so they gave the IRS tools to get these things and close the books. There's a calculation in it. Let me just explain that for a minute. The government at some point decides it costs more for them to chase the money down than it does just to settle with you if you're engaged and you're not trying to flee your obligation. So if you face it, you're likely it's like getting pulled over by a cop and being polite. You might get out of the ticket. In this case, if you're dealing with it with a professional and you apply that, you might just very well be in better shape. Y'all, it's Axiom Tax Resolution Group, 205tax.com, 205tax.com. The phone number is 872-1100. Perry would love to hear from you. Take a breath. The deadline's over. Now let's get to work on getting that debt down. Axiom Tax Resolution Group. All right, man, I got other stories. I'll give you some surface headlines, but I want to get into this missing scientist thing. And I think I have a soundbite on this. If I can find it real quick, AJ, I'll send it to you. So first up, this Tyler Robinson thing. It's another one of those things where the conspiracy crowd, and listen, I got to be real with my people. It's coming from, quote, our side of politics. The world's not evenly divided cleanly into two camps. There are multiple camps. But there are people that would never vote Democrat, would never consider themselves socialist, would never be that foolish, but get bought into the craziest stuff driven by podcasters who are just looking to manipulate you to get the freaking clicks. When they see something's working, they keep doing it to keep getting the clicks. It's how they get paid, and you get played, and then you start believing it. And then you watch Candace Owens for 5 minutes, and then you get the algorithm says, this person's a conspiracy nut, feed them more of that stuff. So you got people out there believing that, I don't know, what's the latest theory? The Jews popped up out of a manhole and shot Tyler Robinson with the help of a UFO and an Egyptian spy plane. I mean, it's a bunch of stuff. So none of this had any underpinning. And most of these people have never followed a real homicide investigation in their lives. You've watched some movies maybe, but you don't understand how forensics work, how the process works, how to build a body of evidence, how that's going to be presented to a jury. Yet here we go. So forever they wanted to pretend it was a different gun, and now we've got some more conclusive reporting from the people involved in the case that indeed the fragmented pieces that they are able to find of the bullet that killed Charlie Kirk likely came from that same old antique gun that he stole from his grandfather. It was a match. It's not a perfect match ballistically when you do stippling. That's one technique. And you couldn't do that because he used soft tip, round head, soft tip ammo that's designed to break apart when it hits anything. Shoot it at a wall, shoot it at a stop sign, shoot it at a human being. It's going to disintegrate. There's some ammo that's designed to do that. We've known that since the beginning. So they all just concocted theories, and now that's out there. It doesn't prove anything. We're still got to have a trial. But how many times can he confess? There's a whole nother confession that came out last week. Oh, that's manufactured. Okay, fine. All of it's going to be presented to a jury. We'll let the jury decide. But largely, there's more evidence that he did than he didn't. And that was out there in the world today, too. Now, let's do the scientist. I just sent this over to you, AJ. Let me know when you got it. Trump did, again, he did an impromptu sort of outside news conference today, wide ranging. And I think it was Peter Ducey. I think that's who you're going to hear in this clip that was, this aired on Fox News. Trump was asked about, and I've loosely followed this. I don't think we've talked about it much on the show, but there's been a case where this increasing number of missing scientists and or dead under suspicious circumstances scientists that have all been associated with some of the research programs our government does, and particularly the aliens stuff into, what do they call them now? UAPs instead of UFOs. And some of our nuclear stuff. These scientists are all mysteriously suddenly either just missing. Just one guy walked out into the desert. And when the story first came out, I heard he had Alzheimer's. So I thought, well, that's probably more like what it was. And a couple of them have been found killed mysteriously. But what Trump said today gave credence to it. He was asked the question and said he had just left a meeting about it. In other words, this has risen to the White House level of looking into an investigation. Take a listen to this.
There are these 10 missing scientists with access to classified stuff, nuclear material, aerospace. They've all gone missing or turned up dead in the last couple months. Based on what you've been briefed, what do you think is happening here? And do you think that this is connected or totally random?
Well, I hope it's random, but we're going to know in the next week and a half. I just left the meeting on that subject, so pretty serious stuff. But we're going to be hopefully, I don't know, coincidence, if you whatever you want to call it. But some of them were very important people, and we're going to look at it over the next short period.
All right. So what was news making about that? The story's been out there, and it started as conspiracy theory kind of stuff. And not all conspiracy theories are wrong. Some of them are just theories. But you got one, and then you had 6, and then there were 7. Now there are 10 that are linked in this way under mysterious circumstances. And that is absolutely a pattern that needs to be understood in some way. And now it has risen to the level of the President of the United States getting a briefing on it that he told reporters about, or confirmed they suspected that he had been. He said something also about a timeline of knowing something in a week and a half. We'll have to see how this gets sorted out. Back here in just a minute, Leland Live. Y'all stay tuned. Man, it's 2:34, Leland Live. There you go, AJ. People still can't hear the music on the YouTube, right? So we're just
It just depends.
some sitting here head bobbing and they can't.
They
hear what
can't.
I'm-
Yeah, no.
That's okay.
You can hum it.
They just think I got a nervous tick. I don't know the song that you just hit me.
They don't
fresh
know.
with that.
They don't know that. You could be humming something
That's true.
completely different.
That's true. Be humming like the McDonald's theme.
Right.
It'd be something completely different. The groove though does remind me of Jawbone Jam. Let me run that past you again. Y'all, there are tickets available. We want to sell it out. It's going to be so much fun. We're a month out. I know some of y'all can't make plans till we get close, but less than a month. We're just about 3.5 weeks out from our 10th anniversary birthday party for the station with the headliner, of course, Birmingham's own Brother Kane, the legendary band. Basically, their heyday was in the 90s when they just hit the scene so hard. I was a huge fan, still am. And, of course, they got back together. And I love this. These guys are out there still making music. So is my friends that toured around in the country with Cattle. I think all these groups go so well together. I didn't know much about Stone Horses when the Brother Kane folks wanted to bring them along because they were on a tour with them. I said, sure, the more the merrier. So we got it's almost 3 concerts. Either one of these bands could come out to Iron City and be worth a good time on that night. It's a Friday night. Tickets are online right now at the Iron City website. Is it Iron City Beham? I think it's IronCityBeham.com. And sometimes in Birmingham, you got Beham or you got Birmingham, so you got to get it right. And then, of course, you can get them at Ticketmaster. Now, the bands, because of the setup this year, sometimes we used to do it as for free, and it was a charity deal. But now this is really just a professional concert that we feel like we're tagging along, getting to be part of with our Jawbone Jam anniversary. And it all came together for May the 15th. Everybody was available. And we're so excited. Now, I'm going to take the show out there. AJ, are you going to be back here? You're going to be out there? You're going to be out there?
I'll be out there.
All right. And usually the whole crew comes out. So,
I got to do all the stuff behind the scenes as well.
yeah, we all got we have to run around and do the workity work while y'all get to enjoy the show. The good thing for me, I enjoy this. I will miss playing, but I get to spend more time with the audience because when you're backstage before the show, you're doing sound check. During the show, you're waiting to come out, and then you do your gig. Then behind the scenes, you gotta get your stuff out of the way. You got to load your truck. You got things to do. And I think I don't get as much time out there to shake hands and hang out. So I'd love it. So we'll be there live from 2 to 6. And I'm telling you, I don't think this is going to be one of those walk-up things. Birmingham is known as a walk-up town, which means in the promotions business that people will wait to the night before the day of and just buy tickets and show up when it's in the mood. And generally around Birmingham, a lot of shows you can get tickets at the last minute. This is one of those that's going to sell out now that we've really earnestly begun promoting it and letting everybody know about it. So get your tickets. We'd love to see you. It's going to be a big night. May the 15th, Iron City, the Jawbone Jam. Bigger than ever. I don't know how we're going to top this, AJ. You think this should just be our last year?
Oh, no.
We can't. How are we going to do a better Jawbone than this?
I mean, we got to set up for the 20th anniversary.
You think we'll all make it that long?
I mean,
I'm getting old,
try.
right? I'll be too crotchety in 10 years to even show up. Okay, all right. So, yeah, Jawbone Jam, you're going to hear a lot about that in the next few weeks. Get those tickets, and we'd love to have you there. Let me decide which one we want to go to now before I get too squirreled. Let's talk about the economy real quick. But, look, it's in again, I met so many of our listeners today, and one of the I consider it a compliment when people say this line to me, okay? It's very rewarding to me. I've got things from my career that were rewarding in their day, awards and trophies, and that stuff's meaningless. You get older in life, that's just but the kindest thing people will say to me is, you help me understand it. And then a little warm sensation goes all over me like I peed myself. It's because the world's intentionally made to be complicated. I was reading almost a prophetic piece this morning when I first got up. The sun wasn't even up. And I was reading a piece about the fall of, the Tower of Babel. And the point of that was that people were scattered because suddenly they couldn't communicate. And everybody was speaking all these languages and in tongues. That's a oversimplification. But we're getting into this Babel situation. It's literally where the word Babel comes from, when somebody's babbling. But we're in a situation where our language is being dumbed down and intentionally confusing so that the meaning of words means less. George Orwell wrote about this same subject, and I happened to come across a little blurb about that from him too, where if you can't clearly cut to a definition of things, then you can't define what you're opposed to and why. You can't define what you're able to defend and why. And we're in a situation where well meaning, smart people, hardworking people know in their heart what they feel is wrong, what's going wrong in this country right now, but it's hard to articulate it because by design, especially with the way the internet's going, the way social media is driving people crazy, the left continuously changes the definition of things. That's not just something that happens, it's by design. And it keeps you from being able to focus on what's wrong and defend what's right. And you've got to have not only some moral clarity to be able to do that, you got to be able to understand what you're talking about. So I think things that get overly complicated they can all be boiled down into simplicity. I remember years ago, Limbaugh would always say, words mean things. And I didn't really understand what he was getting at when he'd say it. I was in my 30s when I started listening to him. And now that I'm older, I'm closer to where his age was at that time. I know what he means. The ever evolving changing of definitions or refusing to use certain words removes clarity, and without clarity, you can't define purpose. And so I appreciate when people say that, and I try to boil this stuff down as best we can. So on the economy, and then I'll get on the phones because I think we got a traffic update over here. Well, let me just take that, and then we'll do some economic stuff. Mike's on a cell phone. What's up, Mike?
Hey, Leland. I'm right before you get to Trussville on 459. The two right lanes are covered in wet concrete. Concrete truck lost its load, and I just about did a 360. So, heads up, it's just going to happen right after you go past where the dog track exit is.
Yeah,
is two right lanes are covered in.
So
wet
this
concrete.
is 459 near the dog track exit going toward Trussville outbound.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Man, concrete running through wet concrete would just be a disaster.
Yes.
It gets all underneath your car. You're not getting that out if it dries.
No.
Good Lord. Go hose your cars off. If you've hit that stuff, go straight to the car wash while it's wet and get that stuff off your car. I'm serious. I've got concrete in the back of my truck. AJ will never come out because I was doing some work and let it dry back there. Mm-hmm. It's nasty. Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, thank y'all for what y'all do.
Thanks, brother. Two right lanes, wet concrete, big truck had a spill. There used to be this, some of y'all take Grants Mill Road, and I take it every now and then. And right there where you go up the hill, where it makes that hairpin turn back down by Lake Purdy, for those of you that know that little path back there, some concrete truck years ago dumped a huge load right there in the middle of the road, and it never got taken out. And, I mean, you'll hit that stuff. It'll move your car over because it's just this lump.
Yeah.
It's like a speed bump that's just incidentally there because of a concrete load. He was going up the hill. I guess everything shifted backwards, and there you go.
Yeah, I had that happen once. I was driving, and they were doing some work on the overbridge, and some of the just like droplets of cement kind of got on my car. And I didn't think about it. I was young. I'm like, oh, it's it's fine. Man, when I tried to get that off, it was –
Yeah. I ran through some dust like the limestone. You know, down in Florida, like they were always doing construction. I remember I was younger and I was heading down to Orlando, and they were working at night, and there was this cloud of dust from the construction of the road. They had a lane shift, so I would get over in the lane they told me to get in, and I go through all this stuff, and it gets on your car, sort of makes your car look white, like it's it's like white pollen that just kind of sticks to your car. Well, I made the mistake of thinking, well, I'll wash that off when I get time. So I kept driving, and it was just it got on the windshield. I turned on the wipers, and I went on down to Orlando. You know, it's hot down there all the time. Spent like a week just letting my car look nasty. AJ, I like to never got it off. You couldn't spray it off. You had to really wipe your car, and then you're risking the paint. So you got to be careful. Dude, today I had I don't know. I'll stay loose for a minute, then I'll get into the economic exam I was about to do. And that'll give us time to watch the close today and see where the markets close out, and we'll add all that to the information that's out. You see that big old thing down in the parking lot on the back of my truck?
oh, yes.
That's a huge, it's not a farm implement, but it's a big mulcher cutter thing that I'm going to use on my tractor. I got to cut my woods, clean out my woods. It's going to be all summer of just clearing and clearing and clearing. So I researched these things, and I finally found out and found a deal on it. But they had to ship it on freight, and AAA Cooper was the company they were shipping from. And I've had stuff brought to my house by them before. But this morning they called me and said, well, we now can't get it there to Tuesday, the way their truck schedule is going to run. So I said, well, can I just come pick it up at your loading dock? And they were like, oh, absolutely. People do that all the time. So I said, I'm going to throw the trailer on. That way I can get to using this thing this weekend. Mm-hmm. So it weighs 1,000 pounds. So you can't handle it by hand. So I get there, put the trailer on this morning, and their site is over here in Inslee, just down the hill from the station. So I get over there, AJ, and that thing is mounted vertical to a steel frame. I thought it'd be flat.
Right.
They'd pick it up with a forklift, just drop it on the truck. I'll throw a strap over it. This thing is mounted upright like this because I guess it won't fit. It's too wide. And so now I'm looking at that going, how am I going to get that home without that falling over?
Very carefully.
I was just standing there looking at this thing. And so then this guy comes out. He rolls up on a high street. He said, "Lead 'em live." I was like, what? And it was Ronnie who works there. He just got turned on to us about 6 or 7 months ago. I hope he's listening. I told him I'd wait till 3, and I may do all this again. But he was so nice. He was just wanted to meet me. And then he told one of his buddies who's also a listener, and he rolled up on his forklift. And he said, hey, his name is Fish. Mm-hmm. It's good to see those guys. Those are my kind of guys out there working hard, taking care of our stuff over at moving that freight, man. I love it. So eventually I got over AJ, I decided I didn't need to be on the interstate with it. I had to go slow and avoid bumps, and you can't tell what you're about to hit on the interstate. So I decided to just take the back roads between there and the radio station. And that goes through like Elmwood, Princeton Hospital, like some
very
areas.
sketchy areas.
Well, yeah.
Go ahead and say it.
It goes through the Hood. And I'm like, I bet they ain't seen too many country boys come through with farm tractor stuff.
Yeah.
People were just looking at me going up the street real slow, like I was.
I wonder where he going.
You know what I did? I just dropped my lean. I threw my arm up on the steering wheel, just leaned over like, what's up?
No, they're gonna be like, hey, look, don't stop. They're gonna be like National Lampoon. But they asking for directions, and you gonna have no hubcap or no
they
mulcher.
Ain't getting that, man. Unless they got a forklift.
You be surprised.
That ain't coming off the truck.
You be surprised.
So I did. I had to, and then I got nervous because I overdo everything. So the straps on there are made for that kind of weight, but I don't trust them because they're straps. So I zipped on over to a supply place over here over the hill, got me some tie down chains, and so I chained it down with a turnbuckle thing, and I hope it holds. I still got to get over 2 mountains to get home. I think it's fine now because it's dang near welded to that frame that it's mounted to, and that's down on the bed pretty good. So. Mm-hmm. But I ain't got to go through any bumpy roads where I'm worried about somebody sticking a gun in my face at the red light.
Give me what's on the back of your truck.
I'm like, buddy, if you can get it, go for it.
Hey,
if you're willing to work that hard, I know somebody will give you a job. You don't have to be out here stealing stuff. No, it was all right. I got through there pretty good, but that was an adventure today. I just looked out the window and decided to tell my story. All right, let's do the break. We'll come right back. 545-9950 is the phone number if y'all want to get in on the show. We'd love to have you. Again, traffic updates or whatever. And one more reminder about our previous call. Wet concrete, 459, 2 right lanes near the dog track exit. Get over and avoid that until the authorities, and that's difficult to clean up too. They're going to have to get out there with some equipment to scrape that off the road. It's going to be a huge mess. Don't hit it. Back here in just a minute, Leland Live. Yeah, Allen and Company next up here on the show. I love talking about them because I think the world of the Thompson family. One of my favorite things all year long is when we go over there and do our Christmas show, right up leading up to Christmas. It means sort of the kickoff of the season every single year, and then people that get stuff done there are so proud of it. Y'all are welcome to do that too. If you visit one of our sponsors, let me know. Reach out to me. They send me social media pictures of look what I picked up at Allen and Company today. I love it. And fellas, if it's time for an upgrade, you got married years ago and when y'all didn't have a whole lot and she's put up with you and you want to upgrade that diamond, this is the perfect place to do that. They can take the original setting and keep it like it is, just give it a little more bling, or create something brand new and repurpose the original diamond into something else so she can continue to wear that. That's a very popular thing to do. They're all kind of the sky's the limit. It's up to your imagination as to the things they can help you do at Allen Company. And everybody's different. People have personal taste. And so all I know is the prices are excellent all over the store. And you get the custom work. You get the personal touch. Everything, if you take something in for repair or cleaning or whatever, it stays right there in their store, in their vault. They do the work and get it right back to you. There's some peace of mind in that. And they get it. Allen gets it. Even if it's not an expensive piece, he knows it's hard to turn that loose and let somebody work on it because it's that sentimental. They'll take care of that too. They'll take care of that and make sure it's done just right. Go see them and get to know them and make them your jeweler too. Allen over at Allen and Company. All right, let's take a couple of phone calls. I'll get in. I was going to do the economic stuff. I'm sort of punting on that until we get a market close and some definition on the day. Warren is up next. What's up, Warren?
Hey, I wanted to give a partial defense of Larry Craig. I heard you a couple days ago mention him. And what was happening back then, I don't remember. Gee, it seems like it was almost 30 years ago or something.
Oh, it was. It was back, I would say it was around 2000 or so. Yeah.
Okay. But anyway, he was making a connecting flight through Denver. And what they had was a kind of a speed trap sort of a thing, but it was for homosexual males. Evidently, they may have had a problem there.
Oh, there's probably a name for that. I'm not going to use it on the air. Keep going.
Yeah. Well, anyway, and they released an audio that I heard a couple times on the TV at the time. And so there was nothing to see, but there were voices. But the cop who arrested him giggled a couple times, not in a particularly macho or masculine way.
Mm-hmm.
And his job was going through the airport from one men's room to the other and, seeing if anybody was interested, which seems like an odd, that doesn't sound like.
They had a homo meetup code, and he was throwing the bat signal out there to see if anybody would, and then they'd bust these guys, and this senator got caught up in it.
But anyway, at that time, the Democrats actually had 57 senators, and they wanted to bump off 3 Republicans. Packwood was one of them.
Yep.
And it turns out he was kind of balanced out by, I think it was, guy from Hawaii, Inouye.
Inouye, yeah.
Turns out Inouye, he'd go get his hair cut and he had his hands all over the women who were
nasty.
Yeah. Anyway, and Kay Bailey Hutchison, and then Larry Craig, some Democrat, some reporter or Democrat had gotten ensnared in this thing in Denver. And anyways, somehow they got wind of that Larry Craig, he did not admit to anything, but he paid $1,000,
yep,
a fine. And I mean, what do? You let them lock you up. It was just the one witness was the one cop before a judge. They did this all the time. It's kind of a shakedown operation. Now, I don't know,
Well, it was embarrassing for him.
Homosexual.
It was a scandal.
And so, maybe that was his cover. That's possible. But anyway, what happened was then some Democrat died or something. It could have even been our own Hefty Hal Heflin, or it could have been Deacon Cini or somebody. And then it was just out of range, and it turns out the Kay Bailey Hutchison thing was nothing. And anyway.
Well, you are in the Wayback Machine, Warren. That is a lot of Senate names I haven't heard in years. I just had that funny story about Craig, though, but I appreciate the detail.
Yeah, it bothered me a lot at the time because every day for a month, that was the story. Can you imagine with all the stuff going on everywhere now?
Yeah, it seems innocent compared to the crap that's in the news with these people nowadays.
Exactly. He wasn't raping anybody or
date raping
or drugging them or So all
right, Warren. Thanks, buddy.
That's all.
All right, man. There's Warren with his story about to take you back to why we were talking about Larry Craig would be a couple of days ago. Here's Lauren Boebert today. I don't understand this. Let me give some treatment to this real quick. She's trying to come up with the bumper sticker comment of the day about these sex scandals that just broke out. Here's what she said. Y'all know who Lauren Boebert is, right? She's kind of – is she from Texas or Colorado now?
Colorado.
She's from Colorado. And, she's the one that's kind of saucy. Anyway, take a listen to this.
Yeah, go to church. Find Jesus. Why is everybody so horny here?
And then she walked off.
Okay, so did she have a situation where she was
exactly?
Yeah,
she was on a security camera in a public theater in front of families, getting groped by her beau.
Yeah, it wasn't even her husband either.
No, she was in the theater with some other dude, and he was squeezing on the old jumblies in the theater, and didn't realize there were security cameras recording people sitting in the audience, and they were asked to leave. Then she started yelling and screaming at the staff that she was in Congress and you can't kick me out. And AJ, she walks around dressed like a stripper. I'm just being honest. Not all the time. And I do like some of the things she does, but she needs to sit this one out, is all I'm saying. Those who live in glass houses. And that's what kills me. Swalwell was one of the loudest people about the Epstein stuff, and now he's being accused of date rape, drugging people. And then you turn right around and some of the people yelling about Swalwell, they're next. They'll be the next ones caught up in this stuff. They know no shame on this. None of them get up every morning and look in the mirror and go, wow, I'm as big a douchebag as he is. They get right to CNN and go, why? I didn't know he was a douchebag. That never occurred to me. I thought Biden was a genius as well.
I think you got something on your forehead that says douche right there. I think douchebag. I think that's what it says right there on your forehead.
That guy has a splinter in his eye. Douglas Cooling and Heating, ready to come tune you up for the heating season. Man, it was hot today. I was out there loading this thing, and it felt like summer. Like the humidity's back, heat's back. Your system will be working overtime to keep both heat and humidity out of your house. Y'all love on it. Take care of it and let Douglas do it. This is my company, been my company for 17 years, almost 17 years. I'm rounding off a little bit. That's a long time. I trust them. Get them over there, do the tune-ups, do the installs, do the emergency work, and make Douglas your go-to for anything you need with that and plumbing. Call Douglas.com, CALL, calldouglas.com. License number 2017181, calldouglas.com.